I'm Dr. Heavenly Kimes, and I'd like to invite you to something called the Heavenly Investment Group. I started it with a group of friends. We talk about investments, and I wanted to put it out there for the public. Talking about investments, the things that we invest in, the things we talk about, and updated topics on investments. You will get exclusive content on promising investments. Although I'm not giving financial advice, I've vetted these investments and I do think highly of them. Not only are you getting promising investments, you get to talk to me and some of my friends one-on-one on my Patreon channel. And we actually invite you to a community where we can text you when I go live. 20 people, I'm going to give them $250 to invest. And I think that's a great way to start. And once you see your money growing, you're going to want to invest more. I'm so excited about the Heavenly Investment Group because I feel like this is a way that I can give back to the community and we can teach others how to be not only healthy, but wealthy and happy at the same time. Hey y'all, what's up? Dr. Heavenly here. Listen, you know I love going live and I love bringing information. Tonight we are talking to one of the top realtors in Atlanta, and of course she's a sister because all I do is I love black power, black girl rock. Gabby Maddox and I have been working together for quite some time. I actually met her through Audra, the attorney. She's a real estate attorney, and we're going to talk to you about real estate. Y'all can go ahead and bring Gabby in because I want her to introduce herself, tell us her accolades, and let's talk about it. Let's go straight to it, Oliver. Hey Gabby, how's it going?
Good. How are you, Dr. Heavenly?
I'm doing wonderfully, child. I'm trying to get it together, put my
Me
little
too,
moisturizer
Dr.
on.
Heavenly. I've been working all day long. I'm looking at these flyways. I'm like, Lord.
Child, I was helping my daughter today, but anywho, Gabby, can you tell the people who you are and give me you're gonna have to give me your intro so I'll know it for next time.
Yeah, absolutely. So Gabby Maddox Davis, newlywed, right? I've been in the top 1% of realtors in Georgia for the past 8 years. And I primarily do over 25 million in volume. I do more client units than just about any agent in Georgia. I sell about 70 homes a year by myself. I'm a single agent team with a team of people to actually assist me, right? And my goal is to educate us on why we should buy real estate, what we can do to invest in real estate, Airbnb, rental property. Dr. Heavenly and I stayed on the phone this morning talking about down payment assistance programs for about an hour and where those lie. But my goal is always to create a circle of partners to where we make sure we're investing properly and we're not getting scammed and we just making sure everything is right, Dr. Heavenly? So
Absolutely,
yes,
absolutely. And this is how this
also,
conversation started. I saw a post on Instagram about them saying you can get 1% down for new
yes.
home buyers if you're Black. So immediately I forwarded that post to Gabby and I was like, what the hell is this? I'm Black. Because I said it would be great for investors. Like if I could put 1% down, we in the money because we already doing HUD. You know what I mean? So go ahead and tell them what you explained to me.
Y'all, so that, and if I say that conversation went exactly like that, Dr. Emily literally said to me, I was like, no, you don't qualify for this. So there are a few things. And we talked about this morning. Whenever you see anybody mention any type of down payment assistance programs, always make sure that they send you the parameters that you need to qualify. Because what happens is when we're going in downturn economies, everybody starts popping up with these programs that make everything look great. They have you running your credit because they know Dr. Heavenly may not buy it because she's going to call Gabby, but it's for every one Dr. Heavenly who will call and say, tell me about this. It's somebody else who won't call and they'll run their information. And that lender, even though it may not be the best program or the person may not qualify, they're meeting their quota for loans, and I'm not saying every program is bad. I'm not saying that this program won't help somebody, and we made that clear. But what we will say, there are a few things about Legacy's down payment program and Bank of America's down payment program. And the first thing is it's only about 8 zip codes of people in Atlanta specifically that qualify for the one in Legacy. So Legacy's is out of Atlanta. It's only about 8 zip codes that qualify. And those are primarily people who live in Clayton County and people who live in East Atlanta. Okay. And not only that, your license has to show that you have been renting there. So people like Dr. Heavenly, who currently are a homeowner, you do not qualify. You have to show that you're renting currently in those zip codes to even qualify for that. Another thing is that they don't tell you, they don't cover your closing costs. So if the seller, let's say you're buying a $300,000 house, you'll qualify for the 1% down because it's 1% down still. But what if the seller says, I'm not paying all your closing costs? Closing costs are typically about 3%. What if the seller says, hey, I'm not willing to do the repairs to the house? Who knows what a house under 300,000 repair costs will look like? And so when I was having this conversation earlier with Dr. Heavenly and one of my favorite loan officers, Kim, we were talking about the misconceptions built around it is I don't need any money to get a house. I basically just need to be Black and I qualify for this program. When in actuality, you still need a good bit of money to qualify for this program. And so that's kind of where we were headed with that, Dr. Heavenly.
Yeah, I think that's amazing that I could ask you, but even me, and I'm vetted in real estate. I probably bought 15, 20 properties and I have a real estate license, but I don't know the financing part of it. Because if you tell me if I'm Black and I can get a 1% loan and they marketing that, to
It's
me
misleading.
is that bait and switch, what you say? Or what are you saying? Like, okay, if I call up there and I only can do it in certain zip codes, Clayton County, and I have to rent, meaning I have to be a renter.
Dr. Heavenly, it's not you alone who felt like it was bait and switch. Me personally, as a realtor, I said, okay, I have a client, let me try it out. And literally, they were like, oh no, their license has to show that they live in this specific zip code and the income has to show. And I'm like, wait, hold on. Y'all can't just be saying like Black people qualify for this loan. And now you're getting all these loan applications. I think it's great. It's brought awareness that they're a Black bank. But Bank of America is doing the same thing. And I think for us, we just don't want it. So, Dr. Heavenly,
Do you feel like it's predatory lending, or is it helping somebody? For example, if you're young and you're renting somewhere and you're saving up for a house, right? And you see this program and you say, hey, you know what? I don't care if I live in Clayton County because that's my price range anyway, right?
Yep.
So that can help somebody, right?
It could help somebody. But statistically, we have to think about why are they doing it in specific zip codes? What is the median income of those specific zip codes? Are the people in those zip codes, do they have money for closing costs and repairs? Otherwise, why not open it up to everybody, no matter what zip code I'm renting in? Right, Dr. Heavenly?
Absolutely.
And so for me, I can't legally say it, but it does give me predatory. I feel like banks right now, this is how the reoccurring cycle happens for foreclosures in the Black community, in my opinion. We sit there and we throw all these programs out there instead of teaching people how to simply save. If I don't know how to save my money, like you said, it could be somebody out there who's renting in those zip codes who may have a little bit saved up, been working, but they need a little help. It could be those. But let's just say the average house under 300,000, and I have market stats to go over today with you too, because I love reviewing the difference from last month to this month in market stats. But let's just say the average person is buying a house under 300,000. In Georgia, the average cost of a home is over 500,000 now. So under 300,000, you're not getting something that's
I tried. I was like, listen, I'm getting every one of my kids a house, 300,000. I was like, no, my baby won't want to stay there.
Under 300,000, you're not getting something that's nice in Georgia. Even with the market turning, you're still not. And so for me, the issue I have is when this client, as a realtor, I've told them, use this program. You just need another $5,000. They've depleted all their money on closing costs at the closing table, right? Because you have your down payment, guys, keep that in mind, which is about 3% for a first-time home buyer. But you also have closing costs, which are about 3%. So in total, you need to put down about 6%. You can get the seller to pay some of the closing costs, but that doesn't mean they're going to pay all of them. All right.
Okay, I want to talk to my angels right now. Angels, is this helpful information to you guys? I want to hear from you. Oliver, if you could put up the comments, because I want to hear what their questions are and if this is helpful to them. Because I feel like real estate will always be one of the best investments you can invest in, but you got to invest in it right? You got to invest in it right. Earlier, last Wednesday we were talking to Dr. Jackie and Dr. Jada about the Heavenly Investment Group, and I was telling her, and I'm not gonna go into it because go back and look at the last live that we did on Patreon, and Oliver, if you could repost it.
But y'all are making me feel good. Everybody's saying it's helpful. Thank you, guys.
That's what we do here. I mean, I know I talk junk on Married to Medicine, but I feel like because we put out so much garbage, we got to put out some positive stuff as well. And you'll watch that a lot of people won't watch this video just because it ain't no mess. But I try to throw in the mess and put the pearls in there for them. You know what I mean?
Oh, they are. Yes, we love it. Thank you, guys. Y'all are making me feel good. The
single best investment is real estate, baby. And y'all stick with me. We're going to keep going with Gabby. We got a loan officer coming on next week. Is it next week? To show y'all what y'all need to do to fix your credit, to get that home loan. And I'm telling you, y'all can qualify for homes. Y'all don't have to rent forever. In fact, I think it might almost be easier to buy than to rent. But you got to know how to buy. You need to understand the interest rates. And not only that, I've been learning from Gabby, which I've been in real estate for years. I didn't know that if you don't put down enough, you got a property mortgage insurance.
Okay.
I didn't know that, I knew about the debt to income ratio, but they have so many programs out there. If they put you with a mortgage broker, they're going to find something, but make sure it makes sense to you. And Gabby, I got a question for you. And the question is, do you think the banks and or whatever that company was called putting out the 1%, and we're not down to anybody because like you say, it could help somebody, but is it in response to the market slowing down because the interest rates are so high, and it's a way that they keep making their money? Because I used to own a mortgage company, so I know, a little bit about that, a lot about that actually.
Well, what did Kim talk to us about this morning? Okay, if rates are in the 7s, that means people aren't refinancing, right? Because that is the highest that rates have been in the past 20 years. And you know what happened 20 years ago? What happened? We had a recession, right?
Right.
And so rates are at the highest that they've been since the recession. And banks, I think sometimes maybe they do have good intentions. You know what I mean? But for me, I just feel like it's almost another form of redlining. It's almost scary. And you know what redlining is? It's when they deny loans to people within a certain area. But why am I going to put...
So they try to keep Black folks in a certain area still.
And so for me, it's like, why am I going to put this person... We're going into a recession, which means people... There are jobs out there, right? But people, the good jobs, a few of them are going to start going away, right? And so we're putting these people in these positions where, okay, I got to choose between the AC and paying my mortgage. I've called the mortgage company 3 times, but my babies need AC in the house, or my babies have a leaky roof and I have to get it fixed to stop the mold from growing in my house. And it sounds like common sense if you have a lot of money in your bank account, Dr. Heavenly. But firsthand, I've seen it where parents are like, I got to choose making sure I can live in this house habitably. Like, I need the AC working. And they put off the mortgage over and over again. And what happens? Who gets the house when they foreclose? It goes right back to the bank.
Oh, okay.
And the bank has their investors to buy those properties right back up cash. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, somebody just said they're paying $16.75 for a 2-bedroom. Yes, you can definitely own a home. And so for me, it's more so about owning your property, but owning it the right way. If you're buying a house, they need to make sure credit counseling is available, making sure you tell this person, once you own this house, you are responsible for it. Whether that's you getting a home warranty, whether that's you having $3,000 to the side, just in case something goes bad, you have the money to repair it, because you're not buying a $500,000 or $600,000 house that won't need repairs. You're buying a $300,000 house or less. It's gonna need repairs. And sellers are like, we're not fixing that. So it's up to you,
That's interesting. So I want to switch it a little bit and talk about the interest rates, because me and you were talking about buying a property, probably, maybe. But would it be smart to get an ARM loan, meaning a 5-year, 4-year ARM, or get a 30-year fix, and then maybe in 3 years when it changes, go ahead and refinance? Because I know these ARMs are for 3 to 5 years anyway.
And we talked about that this morning as well. And so it just depends on the loan amount, right? I think anything jumbo, which in Georgia now is about $750 or higher, I think an ARM would be ideal. Now, if you're getting something, a lot of these loan programs, I will say, are offering discounted interest rates. I think even the 1% down one offers one. I would say with those, I would refinance because, it's just I don't think the market is going to be here much longer. I was reading Mortgage News Daily this morning, and they actually said, the first recession happened because we were doing a lot of balloon payments at the end. And when people tried to sell, they were just upside down. In this current market, they're not doing much of any balloon mortgage payments. So you don't have to worry about that as much. And so for me, they're anticipating that by April, rates will start to work their way down next April. And so for me, I think if it's under 750, I would probably go the route of and you can refinance on both. You just have to see what the ARM requires if it's a certain time limit, but you can refinance after 6 months on both.
Okay, so you can't refinance. There's no prepayment penalty. You can say. So would it be best to wait until April to buy? Or
No.
because either if you're not gonna wait, then you need to get a good deal on the house, right?
You know what my favorite line is in this current market? Marry the house, not the interest rate. Because interest rates can change. But that house being that price that you're getting it for, you don't want that to change in this market. So marry the house, not the interest rate. You can always refinance, right? But the deals you're going to get in this market, you're not going to find. Once the rates go down, you know what happens. It's an ever-going thing.
Just like it was about 6 months ago, people were fighting for these houses.
Once the rates are low,
like in 5 days, I couldn't get anything. So
they had to raise the rates because the housing prices were soaring up. And so it's going to be a slow decline when they go down, but the rates will go down. But with that being said, as the rates go down, the housing prices again will go back up. And so I would rather get my house cheap.
And we're in Atlanta, and tell me if you agree with this. We are a big city, lot of professionals, the mecca of Black professionals, but we're nowhere near the housing market of Miami, New York, LA. So do you think we're going to catch up? Because our houses are cheap compared
our houses are still very cheap. Our houses are actually pretty good for the amount of income. They always do like a ratio of for the amount of income people make versus the house. And Atlanta ranks in top 5 major US cities where the incomes pretty much match up with what you make for the housing prices. So I don't think we're going to be catching up to LA and Miami anytime soon, just because our average price of a house in Georgia, I have the stats pulled up. We're at this month, Dr. Heavenly.
I can't see. Wait a minute. Where my glasses? Where my good glasses? Marry the house, not the interest rate. Exactly. Okay. You got it. LRGA curves. I see you. She always here. I love her so much. Cree got a funny question. I'm an adjuster. These white people buy dumps and put in insurance claims and get the entire house renovated. I don't know that hustle. I ain't never heard of that, but
I'm like, woof.
Okay. I need to get an LLC. Any advice on getting that at cheap? Like, you can do that yourself, darling. All you gotta do is Google that. That, and you can create an LLC for free. If y'all don't have no money, y'all got time, right? If you're trying to get it at a lower rate, go on YouTube. You on YouTube now. Say how to create an LLC, and they'll tell you. Go to the Secretary of State, a corporation, and you check off LLC. It's so easy to do. The world is at our fingertips, and it seems difficult because we don't have the knowledge, and ain't nobody giving it to us. And I know a lot, but I'm still learning. So if you want an LLC, go on YouTube, say, hey, you know what? I want to create a YouTube. It's actually pretty easy to do. And I think it's $150, something like that. But you can do that yourself. If you find an attorney, they're going to charge you a couple of $1,000. That's what they're going to do. So if you want to save money, don't do that. She said, I bought my first home in a rural development, no down payment or closing costs then. Sold it 6 years later to put 20% down on a house over $300,000.
And that is what is called a USDA loan. So that's an urban development loan. Whenever they're trying to build up an area, sometimes the county will say, hey, if you move here, we'll make it to where 0% down. I can tell you as of 2 years ago, Cartersville was one of the last places in Georgia that offered USDA loans. As of 2 years ago, anywhere within a 50-mile, 60-mile radius of Georgia, you cannot find of Atlanta. I'm sorry, Metro Atlanta, you cannot find a USDA loan anymore. That's non-existent.
They say the pros and cons of refinancing. Refinancing, you want to refinance when you're getting a lower interest rate, right? And the pros are you getting a lower interest rate. The cons are they're going to charge you to refinance.
Yep.
That's
Okay,
pretty
mortgage
much.
loan officer, and she has it. But I will tell you, like when rates went down to the twos, that's when everybody really should have refinanced.
Absolutely,
On one
that's
of
what I did, and I bought properties during that
That's
time
what I
as
was
well.
about to say. On one of my rental properties, I had a 30-year fixed mortgage, and my rate on it was like a 4.5. I refinanced when the rates went down to the twos, and it actually went down to a 15-year mortgage, and the payment stayed exactly the same going down to 15 years. And so that's when you really want to refinance. So if somebody is buying right now in the sevens, hopefully they go back down to the fours, and that's when you want to start hitting the refinance button, reset button.
So for our people, would you recommend when the interest rates go down, refinancing and taking the equity out to purchase more real estate? Or you feel like, some people are going to take advantage of that, take their money out and then squander it and then don't have anything to show for it. So I guess you could answer that question for yourself if you
I think it depends. When it comes to credit and stuff like that, I think it's all relative to the person because different people handle money differently, Dr. Heavenly. And so I'm very cautious on some person can handle a $30,000 credit card a month. Some people simply just can't. And so I'm very cautious with that, pulling the equity out, especially for first-time home buyers. Most of the time I will tell unless they're an experienced investor, I tell my first-time home buyers, don't pull the equity out. If you plan on selling it, sell it. Make your money, put a good down payment on your next house, 20% down, and then that extra money that you have left over, then you start investing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's some great advice.
What is the best route to start investing in real estate when you are self-employed?
What question is this? It says, what is the best route to start investing in real estate and when you are self-employed?
And so, Dr. Helen, if you don't mind me answering this, I am self-employed. So the best route to start taking, here's how I started out. I purchased my first house, guys. It was 5% down. I mean, it was 3% down. I'm sorry, back then. It was 3% down. It was my first home. I realized, hey, this house is too big. A year later, I decided, hey, I need to move and get something else. As long as a home is your primary residence, you only have to put 5% down on your second house, as long as it's in a different county than your first house.
Is that true for super jumbo loans as well?
Not for super jumbo loans.
I was just asking because
this for us regular folk, y'all. Not us.
I'm just asking.
This for us regular people.
I'm just asking.
But that was a good question, Dr. Heavenly, for sure. And so basically after that second house, I was able to get my second house and put 5% down. I had a great interest rate on the first house. I rented it out, started making double of my mortgage. Then 2 years later, I get engaged. I move in with my husband. He buys a house. Then we decide a year later, we're going to go ahead and get married. We decide to rent his house out and we decide to rent my other house out. And so that starts the cycle of rental property and how important it is, because that generates enough passive income to where if I don't want to work, I can just sit at home and just get rental income all day long. I watched people talk about this on the news and they think that all of these investors, when COVID was happening, were these large corporations. A lot of investors are just everyday folk. They're retired people who decided to buy up 2 or 3 houses and rent them out. It's not these large corporations.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So your advice is to buy a smaller house, but don't most people, I remember when I got my first house, it was 20% down, but then they gave me a second mortgage and I didn't end up paying anything. So do y'all still do that?
So that's how a lot of these down payment programs work. So I know with Georgia Dream, they take out a second loan against you. But if you sell prior to, I think it's 5 or 10 years, they end up making you pay that money back. And for me, in a downturn market, it's scary when somebody is taking out a second loan because you don't know where they'll be able to resell it. Whereas when the market was great, we saw a trajectory of it going up. So yes, they can do it. But now for first-time homeowners, all you have to put down is 3.5%.
And that's a lot to some people, though, rather than renting 3.5%.
But as Kim spoke to us today, you also have a program called Chenoa, but it's for conventional loans, which basically means they need your score to be above a 640. And really, they don't even, when I say above 640, they don't like 640. They like 680, truth be told. But in order to qualify for it, you have to have a credit score of 640, and you have to have a debt to income ratio of 40% or less. And we talked about this a little bit, Dr. Heavenly. Debt to income basically means Gabby brings in $30,000 a month. Gabby's mortgage is $10,000. a month. Gabby's car note is $5,000 a month. What are other reoccurring bills? Insurance, stuff like that. What is Gabby's credit card bills? If all of that comes up to 15,000, they're basically saying my debt to how much income I technically make about 15,000 a month because I have so much debt from my other, depreciating assets, I guess you would say. So debt to income is important when it comes to any down payment assistance program and credit score.
Absolutely. And the one thing I've learned is this. If you go on Credit Karma or you look at your credit score on Bank of America, when they pull it be different. Because my credit like a 797, and I ain't gonna lie, when I pulled my credit score to buy a property, it was 707, 727, and then 747, and then they went with the middle one. So be careful when you
know your stuff.
Because it's different, right? What's the difference? Because they pulling something different, correct?
And so that's another thing. I watch all these credit repair specialists and stuff like that. I always tell people, just go straight to a mortgage lender. They literally will tell you exactly what all you need to do to qualify. They'll even tell you as much as, hey, you just need to open up a secure credit card because you don't have enough debt. They literally will tell you everything. And I see people pay these outlandish amounts for repair on their credit when the lender will tell you. Here's the thing. I had a client who held $20,000 in hospital bills, and the credit repair specialist was trying to pull it off of her credit. The lender was like, oh, the mortgage reports we pull, we don't care about your hospital bill.
Don't even see it.
And she was waiting so long, and she was like, I've been paying for this girl to remove it. I was like, yeah, and I told you not to. I told you just go straight to the lender, and he will dissect your credit report right there for you.
And another thing, y'all got to think these lenders don't get paid unless they let a loan go through. So they're going to do everything they can to make sure that loan go through. If you got a 640 and they need a 680, they're going to find something for 640. That's why you go to a mortgage broker. They're going to find something that you qualify for a loan. Now, the interest rate, your credit does matter. Credit is powerful because if you got a great credit score, then you get a better loan. But don't think just because your credit ain't certain things. They got programs out there, and trust me, your mortgage broker, if they worth their way in salt, they're going to find a way for you to get their property because they want the points. The mortgage broker, that's the closing cost right there. They don't get paid. The realtor don't get paid. I'm telling you, I did real estate. You don't get paid. A lot of it's a waste of time. And like I said, you need to be pre-approved before you even take a person out there. They didn't say that to my son.
Yes.
Get the thing about it is nobody gets paid unless it sells till it closes. So everybody is incentivized by making it close. They're gonna try to make the inspection go well. The comps look well. So pull the comps. Some people don't even know to pull the comps. And that means the comparative analysis of what sold in that area within a certain amount of time. So pull them comps and you'll know exactly what your stuff is worth. If the house is selling for 1.5 and it's the same house or 700,000, it's the same house down the street. But you know what I mean? Then you know what pretty much your mortgage should be, and you shouldn't pay any more for it. Don't make emotional decisions. I know she said, buy the house and not the interest rate.
Marry the house, not the interest rate.
But don't marry nothing stupid either. Don't marry no dumb man, okay? Don't marry no dumb house.
And I always tell my clients that you get to the point where some sellers are so stuck in their ways, and some agents can't communicate to their sellers like, hey, you're not going to get this. And so I tell my clients, always have your backup choice just in case. Always have you something backup, because if they're not going to budge, I'm not going to make you pay something that this house isn't worth. And
then we talked about, and I don't think a lot of people, I've heard of this, but I've never done it again before. Can we talk about buying down points?
Yes. And so in this current market, it's a few mortgage companies that'll do it for loans under 750. Let me be clear.
Who you talking to?
Let me be clear. But for loans under 750, there are actually some loan companies. I've seen it happen a lot with brand new construction communities under 750, where they're like, hey, we have in-house money to loan you. We will buy down your interest rate. And when they say interest rate, they're talking about points, right? And so I've been doing,
3%, they buying down the points, meaning a percentage on your interest rate.
Yep.
Make that clear, because a lot of people don't know what that is.
Yep. And somebody just asked, does an 800 credit score help you? Yes, it does.
Yeah,
but basically, the better your credit, the better your interest rate will be, correct? And whenever you're getting a house or buying a house, I always tell my clients, let's go for points, especially in this market. And the points basically will help your client's mortgage come out cheaper. And a lot of times sellers don't even realize how much the points cost. Points are typically 1% of the purchase price. And so for my clients, if they're buying, a $1.5 million house, whatever, I'm getting a lot of money for them. And even if the client says, no, we'll only do 1 point, hey, that helps bring down my client's interest rate.
Now
I
that's
saw
the cost of
where,
the home. So a lot of times they won't budge on the cost, but if they buy down a point, it's more valuable, right?
I know right now, D.R. Horton, which is America's largest builder, and they're doing something where they're buying down 2 points. And so the average interest rate as of today, guys, is a 7.25% interest rate.
Might want to wait till April, huh? Might want to wait till April. Somebody gonna buy down something somewhere if y'all want to make the loan go through. Somebody gonna do something.
I posted this today, Dr. Heavenly, and I was talking about the average price, right? In 2022, at the beginning, the average rate was 3.2%. By March, it was 4.6. By July, it was 5.3. Few weeks ago, it was 6%. Currently, they are at a 7%. Let me tell you what that means mortgage-wise, right? So at a 3%, let's just say you're buying a $400,000 house with 10% down. At a 3% interest rate, your mortgage would have been $2,000. Currently, if you buy a $400,000 house and you put down 10%, which most people don't put down 10% on a $400,000 house, they're putting down less. Your mortgage would be $3,190.
So it went up a whole $1,000, a whole 50% more.
Yes.
And the only reason I bought that lake house is because I was able to get an investment property at 2.9%. So the mortgage wasn't anything. This market here, I would not touch because an investment property interest rate is even higher. Because the rule of thumb is people think you're going to pay your residents, right? But the investment property, you go through hard times, you just let it go. You'll let it go. So they make the interest rate higher because they're taking a greater risk on an investment property. So, but yeah, I hope that this session has been knowledgeable to you guys. Let me get this question. Can you see that question, Gabby?
Yes. How much is 1 point on a mortgage? A mortgage point equals 1% of your total loan amount. For example, on a 100%. Yeah.
Oh, she explained. Okay, yeah. Oh, my friend, she's a mortgage lender as well. She's in mortgage. I think she's in mortgages or something.
That is absolutely right.
But I hope.
Oh, somebody said they're not touching this market, and that's not my goal, right? I don't ever want to tell somebody don't touch the market.
Of course, she ain't gonna say that she's a realtor.
No,
I'm just saying, like, touch the market.
I wouldn't tell people don't touch the market. I would tell people make informed decisions before touching the market. Like I just told you, it's certain companies that'll say, like I was just seeing D.R. Horton, in a lot of their communities, they know rates are in the 7s. They're doing a 2-1 buy down program where they're buying your rate down. They gave one of my clients.
That's just under $750 though, right?
Yeah, they gave one of my clients a 5% interest rate. It's a few mortgage loan companies that'll do that just because they have in-house funding.
So ain't nothing for a super jumbo. You better get your money into negotiating and buying the house. That's what I'm thinking, right?
Right. So what about renovation loans? You mind if I answer the questions that I see coming up? I'm sorry. So what about renovation loans? And it's funny, I get this question a lot. So with renovation loans, you need to make sure you know how much, how we like to use these contractors. Like my basement, my contractor was not licensed, but he's been doing all my houses for the past 15 years, and he does an amazing job. He probably does better than any licensed builder.
And if he get a license, he could charge you more. I don't know why he don't get a license, but that's.
Well, I'm happy he doesn't, and I wouldn't advise. But he literally does an amazing job. But I cannot use him if I'm doing a renovation loan. That's where I'm getting to. If you're doing a renovation loan, you have to map out for your lender every single contractor you're using. They need to see a license. They need to see how much it's going to cost. And a lot of times, if they're off track, they could deny your loan. And in this current market, we don't know if stuff is going to be on time, if stuff is going to be late. We don't know if it's supply.
And the house doesn't close until when?
Until it's done. And so for me, I'm big on, if you can buy in a new construction community, just buy.
This is why, and I don't be shading nobody, but if y'all look at building a new home in this interest rate, your house will not close, right? Until it's finished.
Yeah. That's when it
So
closes.
can you lock in a loan before the house
Yep,
is
you
closed?
sure can. But here's the other issue with that, Dr.
That's what I'm
Heavenly.
going to
It costs you. The further out that you lock, the more money they charge you.
So,
it's
for
like,
example, if you lock a loan in for, let's say, a year, right? And your house ain't done in a year, what happens?
The lender will tell you for us, it pretty much unlocks. And if you want to continue to lock it, the lender will let you know how much it costs. So it's not going to be 2 or 3.
Y'all. When I tell people on our cast, join the Heavenly Investment Group, this is good information. I know I'm shady, but I'm really trying to help people. Like, dude, don't do this now. Don't do this now. Wait a minute. But, if you got good credit and or money, is this a good time to make money? Gabby, tell me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And like I told you guys, if you find the house of your dreams and you can afford the mortgage on it with this rate being where it is, go ahead and get it.
Because you can refinance later, right?
You can refinance later. The issue is, I don't want somebody, people are going to be like, dang, this is what you get for $400,000. And you tell them your mortgage payment is what it is. It's not, $400,000 house is not what it used to be.
Absolutely not. Because I was looking for a house for my son. And I'm going to just go and put our business out there. Every time we look for a house in the range I thought it should be in, he turning his nose up at it because that's not what he's used to. And he's not going to be happy with that house. So I'm like, yeah. And I don't want to rent anymore. You know what I mean? So somebody got a bump somewhere because I ain't spending no more, So anyway, I said all that to say this. I want to talk about the Heavenly Investment Group for just a second, y'all. And a lot of y'all saw Dr. Jackie on or whatever. But my thought process is this is a great way to get your down payment for your mortgage. I told you guys, this is some real stuff. I'm not giving financial advice. I'm telling you what I've done and Dr. Jackie's done, Dr. Jada's done, and so many of my other friends have been getting 2 to 4% on average weekly on their investment. So for example, if you put in $5,000, it takes you about 8-9 months to double your money. So now you got 10 and you've been religiously, and you can put in money monthly to make it even more. And then you pull the money out in 90 days or 9 months and you can pay your down payment. This is a quick way to get at it. Invest, guys, invest. Look at it for yourself. Do your own research. But I'm telling you, it's working for so many people. Go to the HeavenlyInvestmentGroup.com. I'm telling you, there's some good stuff. And my whole thing is, it's a crypto hedge fund. So a lot of people lost money in crypto, which makes people like, wow. During the time when everybody lost money in crypto, and I lost money in crypto because I had the Bitcoin too, this company still paid us an out payment of 1.85% that week. So I'm just like, I'm singing their praises because I lost money over here, but I still made some money over here. So go to the HeavenlyInvestmentGroup.com, put your information in. My girl's going to send you all the information. Do your own research. Everything has risk. Real estate has risk. Mortgages have risk. Any kind of investment has risk. But doing nothing has what, Gabby?
No return.
Right. There you have it. Anything else you want to leave the people with?
Invest, start somewhere, like Dr. Heavenly said, y'all. I think as a people, we get so scared and so nervous. And until it takes one risk taker out of your family to start investing, to get on classes, to take the risk. I think you guys, she's a wealth of knowledge. And like Dr. Heavenly said, she's like, I make her the fool on TV, but I got to give y'all the real. This lady is one of the smartest business women I know.
I'm trying. I be telling
Jackie, like, business women I know.
Do this, baby. Do this. And Jackie don't know. She said, Bitcoin, what the hell? I say, buy 2 of them, Jackie. She got the money. She just working. Yeah. And she be like, oh, well, I made my money. Now, one thing I put her in didn't work. One thing didn't work. But everything else, what TS Madison do? It's coming through. And she has enough, and she don't realize it. She's making enough on her return right now. And I ain't gonna tell you how much money she put in because she big money. She made enough return right now to pay her mortgage. You know what I'm saying? Because you get paid every week. So if you add that up every week, all I'm saying is F with me, y'all. If you're interested, the HeavenlyInvestmentGroup.com. And that's all I got for y'all. We got the knowledge here. And if y'all got any questions, leave it in the comment box.
And we have
I
Kim coming next week. She's a top Black loan officer, y'all, and she is a wealth of knowledge too.
You can start with $200. The only problem is, Peggy, I tell people at least $1,000 because you're not gonna really see much of a return. And the company does charge you a $25 monthly fee to do it. So if you ain't put big money in, that $25 gonna eat that up. You know what I mean? So I say to see a return, have at least $1,000. Get you a part-time job, work for a minute, get $1,000, $5,000, whatever, put it in, because my doctors are putting in $50,000, $100,000, and they're seeing the return every week. So if you got $100,000 in and you seeing $3,000 every week for nothing, that's 3, 6, 9, 12 for nothing. 3%. 3% of $100,000 is 3. Yes, it is. You smart, girl. But anyway, do the best you can. And I've seen some people, and I don't know how good this is now with the interest rate being higher. They were taking out loans and investing it. I don't know if I advise that or not. I'd have to look at the numbers, but they were taking out loans and investing in this company and actually making more on the loan amount than they were, and still coming out. And then they get their initial investment out, pull it out, and then they pay the loan back. I'm telling you, some smart people out there doing stuff. I love what you're doing, Dr. Heavenly. I appreciate you guys. Any other questions right quick for Gabby? Gabby, you want to lead the people with anything? How can we reach you, darling?
Y'all can reach me at Gabby, Gabby, Maddox, Maddox, on all social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Gabby Maddox Davis, y'all. Y'all can
find me. Make sure you follow her because she's going to give updates on real estate and the market and her listings and you know what I mean, all that good stuff. And this is good stuff, y'all. Not even if you're ready to invest, but just follow her. And when you're ready, and can we talk a little bit about the panelists we're gonna do with the mortgage lender? Or
absolutely, okay, absolutely. So we're going to do a panel and we're going to talk about this home buying process and some of the crypto with Dr. Heavenly as well. But we're going to have Audra. I spoke to Audra earlier and she was super excited.
Y'all know Audra, she the one that, that's her.
Yes. And Audra is a closing attorney, but she talks about buying property through liens and making sure it's lien free and reading your settlement statements and knowing your profit margins. We're going to have Kim Arrington. She's a top Black loan officer. And I mean, she knows every down payment assistance program. And not only that, because we don't only have to have down payment assistance programs, she knows every program readily available for you for any price point, regardless. And then you have me, top realtor. We're going to add on another real estate agent as well. We're shopping to see who we should add on. I got a few friends.
Zachary don't know nothing, but Zachary,
my baby Zach can join anytime.
That's right, Zachary. But listen, this is for this week. But next time she comes on, I want to talk about, and this is a whole nother can of worms, HUD.
Yes.
HUD. So we're going to talk about HUD the next time. Guys, put in your description box. This is the Heavenly Investment Group. And I call it Wealth Conversations because we talk about gold. We talk about oil. We talk about real estate investments. One lady I had coming in here, which I think is an investment, she was talking about scholarships and getting money for school. That's an investment. Because when you come out of school, you owe hundreds of thousands of dollars. If you could figure out a way to get those scholarships. And I do believe in getting an undergrad degree, at least. But honestly, I feel like you should get a graduate degree if you're going to go on. But anyway, HUD Homes, next time. We're going to follow Gabby and her handle is right down there. Thank you so much, Gabby.
It was a pleasure. It's always a pleasure. Thank you for the platform to discuss wealth and real estate.
Absolutely. I'm using this platform for everything I can to help the people. Okay. So I'm looking forward, and you'll get more information in about our panel. I'm gonna post it. Gabby gonna post it, and we're gonna find a nice place for y'all, and we're gonna give y'all all the information with experts on real estate, experts on mortgages, experts on
only the top. Nobody who looks only the top. Nobody who's looking like the top, but not. We're gonna put the best of the best.
And I'm gonna call it for us by us. Right?
Oh,
right? Is that wrong? Is this gonna be for us by us?
Fubu gonna get us. I don't know, Dr. Heavenly.
No. I'm saying it's for the people. I mean, shit. I don't want to use their term, but that's the words. It's for the people by the people. They didn't make that shit up. That's been out there before Fubu. But I'm not saying FUBU. I'm saying for our people, by our people, because there's so many misconceptions when it comes to buying real estate. There's so many misconceptions and scams out there when it comes to making money. Now, we don't have all the answers, but what I can do is vet it for you, make sure I think it's good. Everything's good till it ain't. The real estate market was good about 6 months ago, wasn't it?
Woo! Now,
okay.
You better be happy somebody looking at your house.
Right. Good. All right. So we'll see y'all next time, and make sure y'all follow Gabby, and she'll give you the update. So the next time she's going live, we're gonna talk about HUD homes and investing. Okay. See y'all later.
Guys. Bye-bye.
Bye. Hi, I'm Dr. Heavenly Kimes, and I'd like to invite you to something called the Heavenly Investment Group. I started it with a group of friends. We talk about investments, and I wanted to put it out there for the public. Talking about investments, the things that we invest in, the things we talk about, and updated topics on investments. You will get exclusive content on promising investments. Although I'm not giving financial advice, I've vetted these investments and I do think highly of them. Not only are you getting promising investments, you get to talk to me and some of my friends one-on-one on my Patreon channel. And we actually invite you to a community where we can text you when I go live. 20 people, I'm going to give them $250 to invest. And I think that's a great way to start. And once you see your money growing, you're going to want to invest more. I'm so excited about the Heavenly Investment Group because I feel like this is a way that I can give back to the community, and we can teach others how to be not only healthy, but wealthy and happy at the same time.